Hello, everybody. You're listening to the Big Chill Podcast. This is episode 36. Donald Trump saves a turkey. Good evening, gentlemen. Welcome to Thanksgiving week. Do you guys have Thanksgiving in Europe?
We gave you Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
We sent a load of zealots on a boat, and that's why you celebrate the holiday.
Yeah, I mean, technically, it should almost be more of an English holiday than it is an American holiday, because you broke ties with that group of people.
How many Americans do you think believe Thanksgiving is a world holiday or world celebration?
I'd say very few.
Really, I
What's
usually
very
with
few?
Americans, usually with an
Like
Americans,
15%?
depressingly high amount.
Under 5%.
I think it's higher than 5%.
I mean, they call baseball the World Series, and it's just America.
Oh,
that's
but
different, right?
That's not why they call it the World Series.
Yeah. So they call it the World Series because I think it was the New York World or whatever was the original sponsor of
The World News.
The World News, yeah. The final of the baseball season, and so it was called World as like they were the sponsor. So it could have been the Gillette series, hypothetically, right? And then after they went defunct and no longer sponsored it, they thought it just had a good ring to it, so they kept it.
Okay,
But that is so. Baseball is, you can defend baseball calling itself the World Series. You can't defend the NBA calling the winners the world champions. And I don't care about NFL. They call them the world champions, but we all know that like whoever wins the Super Bowl would have beaten any football team from anywhere else on earth. So I'm okay with that. But basketball and ice hockey, it seems a little bit iffy.
Oh wait,
I don't think
world
hockey
champions.
calls them the world champions. They usually call them the Stanley Cup champions. And they probably do that because of what you're saying, because they understand that there are pretty competitive leagues, at least in like Scandinavian countries, Russia.
Yeah.
But definitely not basketball. They're arrogant.
Okay, that's a pretty good question then. In which competition, let's go straight into it here. I mean, in which competitions do you think an American champion team, or Canadian, could be beaten by a non-North American team?
MLS.
They don't even call themselves champions. They just call themselves MLS winners.
Lucky losers.
The best of the worst.
I mean, look, theoretically, baseball. Unlikely, but theoretically, a Japanese.
I don't know.
A Japanese or Korean
Japanese
team.
and the Cubans?
Oh, what can beat them? Okay. Yes, agreed.
Could it would be the World Series champions would be heavy favorites, but there is a scenario in which they lose to like the best Japanese team or best Korean team or best Dominican team or something. Like it's possible.
Unlikely but possible.
Ice hockey possible.
Yeah, I think ice hockey could be, especially a really good KHL team, the Russian league, because a lot of the players in the KHL, they'll play there for a few years and then come over here and be top draft picks. But, so they already have some of the top talent playing for that team. And you combine that with some of the later stage players where kind of towards the end of their career, and instead of trying to grind it out in the like third, fourth line of the NHL, can go over there and make almost, if not more money. So they have a good mix. Like the top KHL teams are pretty competitive, and maybe like the top Swedish team, and especially because it's the rink is a little different size too. So if you factor that in, it's kind of like the whole Mystery Alaska. You ever seen that movie, Mystery Alaska?
No.
Oh, you never saw Mystery Alaska?
No.
Oh, come on. It's where the New York Rangers go to play this like Alaskan pond hockey team. And they set up like, so it's like they're not playing in like a regular arena. They're playing on like a pond hockey.
We've had 2 episodes specifically dedicated to sports and TV, like TV movies. And yet you've yet to mention this. So I don't know why you thought.
No, I think I mentioned Mystery Alaska in the first thing. Russell Crowe's in it.
Oh, the gladiator himself.
Yeah.
Does he reprise his role as Maximus?
Maximus the Cold.
He calls his team like Commander of the Felix Legions of the North. You know what
As a
I've
whole,
done though? I've just given Frank the floor to talk about ice hockey again, and I'm
yeah,
really
that was a
regretting it.
mistake.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm done. All right, and that's it for us today. See you later, everybody.
And then I think that's basically it, right? Like American football,
NBA?
NBA, yeah, NBA possible, unlikely but possible.
Where?
Or like a Chinese team.
A Spanish team or a Turkish. No, Chinese basketball is atrocious. I encourage you to go on YouTube and watch it. It's really funny. But and like
I mean,
you get like Jimmer Fredette going over to the Chinese league and scoring like 60 points a game. So that kind of shows the level that it's at. But
I mean, you could give the example of the Olympics and the World Championships, right? When the U.S. has lost, and that was the best U.S. team. You know, like a high
Oh, I remember that.
high level players.
yeah, although the teams they're playing against usually have like 2 or 3 NBA players, right? So
It's true.
but the best Spanish team or the best Turkish team or sometimes the best French team or the best Greek team might have a chance, but highly, highly unlikely.
Does the Greek team have Vasilis?
They wish. Probably also, this is the thing, probably depends what rules they play by too, right? So
Like street rules? Like call your own foul?
2v2, first to 21.
yes, yeah.
Call your own foul, take it past the 3-point line. American football, no way.
No, I mean, the only scenario, I guess, the only argument you could make is if you, and I mean, I think this is the most ridiculous argument of all time. But if you tried, like, I hate when this happens every other year. I'm actually surprised it hasn't happened this year yet with the Jets. When they start going, would Ohio State beat the Jets?
Oh, they have.
Have they? Oh, I haven't seen any of that.
Oh, it's
yet.
been all over like the past 3 weeks about Alabama. Could Alabama beat the Jets?
Oh, I haven't seen any of that yet. Thank God. It's the dumbest argument ever. But fundamentally,
I'm starting to think maybe it's not the dumbest argument ever.
No,
Why is it dumb though? Like, is it just because it's such a mismatch?
Because you have to think that even if the Alabama, like, even if you think really, really highly of the player, like the team that the Alabama roster, say they get 30 NFL players out of their current group who keep a job in the NFL for more than 2 years. Then out of those, how many of them become legitimate starters? Let's cut it down to maybe 20. And then how many of those 20 become legitimate, like NFL, kind of, I say stars, but using the term loosely, you're maybe amazing if there's 10 of them, right? Like, who came out of that. And then you factor in that they're younger, smaller, not as fast. Like, they just fundamentally be overmatched. Like, you have to think that the Jets are all great college players who made it to the NFL.
But are they? Now this is where you can kind of get into a slight debate. How many Jets players would be starters on other NFL teams? Because I always make this argument with my dad about the Giants. Last year or 2 years ago, the entire Giants defense, I would say 1 to 2 of those players would have been a starter on another team. The Giants had about 9 to 10 backups starting on their defense.
It's always hard to tell, right? Because sometimes, particularly with defensive players or with linemen, some guy is terrible for a little bit, then he goes to a better system, a better team, and then suddenly he's an all-pro player. Like, to me, it's very hard to judge that. But, I mean, take the Jets. Joe Flacco. You just drop him into college football. Is he the best quarterback in college football today? Probably.
Oh.
I mean, he probably is. He probably is dominant. You'd have Joe Flacco just throwing 70-yard touchdowns. It would be just, people would be, imagine the scouting reports you'd get coming off of Joe Flacco. But that, to me, I hate that every year when that pops up. I mean, I hadn't seen any of it this year, but every time that conversation comes around, I think it's just so ridiculous. But the only argument you could make as to who could beat a Super Bowl champion is to stay within America, but say, no, it's not an NFL team. It is a college football team. That you spin a scenario that if Alabama played Kansas City 100 times, does Alabama win once? Maybe.
Well, I mean, let's take last year's example would actually be a really good one to compare. And if you took LSU, so LSU had 5 players drafted in the first round. That would just be that year. And then let's just go out 2 more years. So you have the seniors and then you have the juniors and some of the sophomores that were maybe starting. You probably have another 4 first-round draft picks. So on that team last year starting, you had anywhere from 5 to 9 first-round draft picks. Yeah. So that's a pretty good amount. Your quarterback is the number 1 draft pick who potentially was going to be rookie of the year.
R.I.P.
Dead, but he was doing well while he was alive.
Can we quickly bring up Duke a curse on this one? Because
how's that Duke a curse?
You insisted we did a rookie of the year debate. 6 days later, he tears his ACL, MCL, and has structural damage to his knee.
No, I refuse to take that.
I'm going to give it a mild Duke a curse.
But I mean,
you also said, or is it Tua gets benched? Literally,
he sucks.
I mean, Herbert better be watching his back.
Yeah.
I don't want to give Herbert any praise anymore because I'm really nervous for him.
It's probably why he cut his hair, because he's probably like, maybe I can shake the Duke a curse if I'm unrecognizable. Like maybe the spirit won't know who it is.
Is this like Final Destination? He's trying to like skip his turn of death.
Yeah. He's like,
don't
maybe
get
we
on
should
that
hire...
field. Don't get on that field.
Yeah. Do you think we should sign this really long-haired guy as our backup punter? I think we need this guy just hanging around the facility a little bit.
So if we go back to LSU, you have Burrow as the starting QB. You have Justin Jefferson, who's probably the top rookie wide receiver right now. Is the wide receiver.
Books, not after his crucial drop yesterday. He can go fuck himself.
Running back was Clyde Edwards-Helaire. So you have a pretty decent running back. And then your defense, you had Chasen, the linebacker who plays for the Jaguars, is doing pretty well. And then Patrick Queen, who's starting for the Ravens, and Grant Delpit at safety. So you have right there, you have 6 solid players that are probably going to be major impact players in the NFL.
Yeah,
I mean, that's a pretty good team.
How many do you need? How many remaining
players? Another 16.
Okay.
Yeah, another 16. Well, no, but they still had, let's see, they still had what? 3 more drafted in the first round, and then another 3 or 4 drafted in the second round. And that's just the ones who went out.
And that's before we even get on. That's before we even get onto what where college football teams would get really killed is special teams.
Well, as long as you have a kicker that can kick to the end zone, then they just fair catch it.
And they can only kick field goals from like 35 yards out.
That's true.
So I mean, that's where. And also, you just have to assume, right, the guys playing special teams in college versus the guys playing special teams in the NFL. You're going to see a mismatch there in speed and size. Like, that's going to be an issue.
I just think if you took LSU's team last year against the Jets this year, I agree the Jets are decent favored, but maybe -5. 5 point
I'd just like to see one year an NFL team get really tired of this argument and then just go, you know what, guys?
We'll call out an exhibition.
Let's have this game. Preseason.
It'd be great.
Let's go play this. And we're going to do this. And we're going to, like, money goes to charity or something. And especially you could definitely do it, too, if it was like an in-state game. You know, like if the Miami Dolphins wanted to play, like, Florida and they just did it that way. Could be a huge event.
Yeah.
And then just settle this debate fundamentally once and for all, because once one college team absolutely got their asses handed to them by a bad NFL team, it would be like, okay, this is over.
Yeah, because that's how sports arguments work, Eddie. After the first time it's settled, no one ever re-argues it again. It never gets brought up. It's kind of
hard.
I'm sure.
It's kind of hard if you're like, well, it finished 73-3. We'll get them next time.
No, because 2 years later, so I'd be like, well, that was a shitty team when you look back on it.
Yeah, okay, sure. But maybe talking about bad teams, an opportunity for us to speak about two teams that supposedly played their Super Bowls this weekend. And what we found out is those two teams are just as bad in the Super Bowl as they are in regular season games.
Listen, I will actually slightly defend the Jaguars because I watched a good portion of that game, and the first half was a lot closer than it ended up being. And there was a point where the Jaguars were about to go up a touchdown, and then idiot Jake Luton had to try to do anything more than just hand the ball off and threw a pick. And then these ensuing series, they had an easy pick six off of Ben Roethlisberger and dropped it. And then they scored, and then they drove down again and then lost the ball again. Like, it was, had the first quarter played out slightly different, I think the Jaguars could have been up at least a touchdown, and it could have completely changed that game. The way it ended up is Luton just is an absolute atrocious QB and ended up putting themselves in a terrible hole. But there was a slight chance there at the end of the first, middle of the second quarter, where things could have played out a little differently.
Okay. I mean, there's so many qualifiers there for how that game might have been close in a different universe. I mean, it was 27-3 in the end.
Yeah, the second half was, they were done. But if they had went into halftime either up or tied, I think that game plays out differently. But as it is, they went up.
You can't do
17-3.
You can't say that if a team goes in ahead, it will be different because
yeah. But what I'm saying is, if you watch that first half, the Jaguars did not play that bad. I mean, he threw a pick in the end zone and then missed a pick six off of Ben Roethlisberger. That's a 14-point swing right there.
But don't you think, Frank, that fundamentally all you're saying is that any team in the NFL can put together a couple good drives or put together a good quarter, but the thing that separates a good team from a bad team is putting together several good quarters and definitely not putting together, like, having a horrific one. So you're basically like, well, if they played their best for 4 quarters, this game could have been close. It's like, if they played their best for 4 quarters, they'd be the Kansas City Chiefs, but they're not.
Yeah, no. I agree. And I mean, what I'm saying is, obviously, they would have had to play their absolute best to even keep this close. You're absolutely right. I mean, they couldn't. So, for instance, the Chiefs, Mahomes threw a pick at the end of the first half, and they were still good enough to come back and win that at the end last night. Obviously, the Jaguars are nowhere near that. They would have to have played a perfect game. But what I'm saying is, they went into halftime down 17-3. There was a very possible chance that they could have been going into halftime up 17-3. And I think that puts a full different spin on it.
You are putting a 34-point swing on this game.
Yeah, because all right, listen. All right. Well, actually, it probably would have been like 17-10. All right, they were down 10-3. They were down 10-3.
Frank, you've told us, we've gone over these plays now. You've done it 3 times, and I watched the game, so I understand what you're saying. But you could do this for basically. I could justify them never being wrong on an NFL game because I'd be like,
well, usually do.
If they didn't have that blocked punt, if they didn't turn the ball over that time, if they didn't do this, if they didn't do that, like, yeah, most NFL games are decided by 6 to 10 plays fundamentally. And yeah, the Jags got all 6 to 10 of those wrong. That's why they're terrible.
Yeah, I understand that. Well, first off, let me strike back on your comment. Every week I have to hear, well, I made the right pick, but the team just lost. I have to hear that every week from you.
Not always.
Yes. So you do that all the time as well.
No.
Second of all,
no. Here's the difference. I will like, for example, take the Vikings Cowboys game. The Vikings clearly the better team and should have won that game.
No, but Dallas won, didn't they? It was 3 to 4 plays that changed the game.
Yeah, no, you're 100%
3 to 4 plays
right.
that the Vikings didn't do right.
You're not. The difference is that, say, with that one versus me getting wrong, Baltimore, Tennessee, like my opinion on Baltimore is just fundamentally wrong at this point. Like, not that I thought they were very good going into that game, but they are just not a good team. And so that's the difference. Like, I'm not going to say like, well, if Lamar Jackson had just got a touchdown instead of a field goal at the end of that game, it's game over. So, okay, Baltimore, better team. I'm not going to spin it that way.
Frank, how are you going to spin the Lions in this way?
Yeah.
I can't. The Lions were terrible.
If you just looked at the plays and they scored 45 more points, they would have won.
I would honestly say the Jaguars played a better game than the Lions played. The Jaguars were closer to winning that game than the Lions were before they even started the game. That was awful.
Well, good news. You get to watch them again in 48 hours.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And so we'll get into this a little later because I think it'd be cool to talk about, like the Thanksgiving games and the tradition and all of that. But one of the things I think that needs to change is having the same teams play because it's tradition, because it just ruins some of these games. I don't want to watch the Lions. I don't want to watch the Cowboys play. Give me good games. It'd be so much better if you had 3 quality games to watch instead of having to watch the Lions because they play on Thanksgiving. It's so annoying.
Well, I think we may as well then just get into the best holiday sports discussion there in a way, because that's actually, I agree with you there. That's the thing that stops Thanksgiving football from being my best holiday related event, is that 2 out of the 3 games are, going to include a certain set of teams. Well, 2 teams.
What is it? And Dallas, Washington.
No, it's just Dallas and Detroit.
Oh, okay. I always thought it was Dallas, Washington was the game because it was always allowed because it's divisional. But
no, it's usually always just the Lions and the Cowboys are the 2 that play.
Where did that tradition
start? So the Lions have played I was going to tell you. They've played every Thanksgiving since 1934.
That's
with the exception. This is weird though. So with the exception of 1939 to 1944. So really since 1944.
Oh, wait, why is this weird? You've just named World War II, Frank.
No, I know, but it's like they're saying they've been playing it since 34, but then there was like a 5-year gap where they didn't play. So
yeah, but I think probably there were no NFL games.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a surprising lack of young men in the audience at the moment.
No, they did a league of their own. They had the women play.
Yeah,
in skirts.
I like this. You'd be like looking at it being like, Bayern Munich have dominated the German league apart from 1914 to 1918, where they won nothing.
And the Cowboys have been playing since 1966.
Okay, better one. Why? But why did they? Like, I thought there would be a reason. Like, I don't know, like the Cowboys.
So for the Cowboys, for the Cowboys, it was because they were really bad and they couldn't draw fans. So this was one of the gimmicks, was that the manager begged the NFL to schedule a Thanksgiving game so they could get a popularity boost. And apparently it worked. They sold over 80,000 tickets their first Thanksgiving game. And then since then it was kind of, I guess, just stuck and they let them keep doing it. I don't know why the Lions, but I know that for the Cowboys.
Lions, same thing. First owner of the Lions, George A. Richards, started the tradition of the Thanksgiving Day game as a gimmick to get people to go to Lions football games and to continue a tradition begun by the city's previous NFL teams. So yeah, just as a marketing ploy. And as a result of that, we are all forced to watch them every year. But I agree, to me, because we were obviously discussing, is Thanksgiving Day football, is that the best kind of holiday related sporting event? And I really like Thanksgiving Day football. I've got 2 problems with it, 2 reasons why it's not my number 1, or 2 reasons why other events beat it. So the first is that you aren't guaranteed necessarily any great games. And this year is the best example of that. I mean, the Steelers-Ravens game is good, although not as good as it might have been because the Ravens don't look great. And then I guess you can argue that the NFC East game is kind of, you have to watch it.
First place battle.
Yeah.
Yeah. They can sell it that way, and you kind of need to pay attention to that because one of them might end up being a playoff team. So there's that spin. But
for me, the other game is a battle of my 2 favorites. favorites, the Lions versus the Texans.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Oh my God.
What a Thanksgiving Day present that is for you. Christmas literally came early for you.
I cannot wait.
You get to have
Texans
one of your
making their playoff run.
Oh wow, for 2022.
Yeah, putting in the bid early, getting all the primaries in.
This is just preseason for them now. But that's my first reason why it is. And my second reason, I think it actually gets beaten by sporting traditions that fall like the day after the holiday. So the big one being in England, Boxing Day, which is still a bank holiday.
Yeah.
So you're still not going to be at work. So there's which fundamentally, right, most people don't go to work on the Friday after Thanksgiving either. It's not a holiday.
I used to work in a bookies, Eddie. I mean, it was the polar opposite for me.
No, but most people don't go to work on Boxing Day.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm just messing, but I know where you're going with it.
But to me, in a way, that allows you to focus like the Thanksgiving or Christmas. Like I think people would maybe enjoy it more if Thanksgiving you just focused on eating the meal and kind of spending time with your family. Obviously, unless you hate spending time with your family, but you do that. And then the Friday when you're kind of recovering from your holiday and you're relaxing at home, then you've got 3 NFL games to watch. And to me, that's what's great about Boxing Day is you have the Christmas Day, you spend time with your family, you eat too much, you drink too much, you kind of have that all. And then the next day you wake up, you don't really want to do a lot. And you've got football on, horse racing on. And to me, that beats it in that respect is that the timing on as like the hangover day of entertainment is better than kind of getting in the way of the real festivities.
Yeah. Did you have any Christmas traditions? Like for me, when I was younger, I used to go out on Christmas Eve and get absolutely wasted, and then have the worst Christmas day. And
then you were like 10.
When I was younger, I said not when I was young.
How young?
Yeah.
11, 12.
When I was 7 and 8, we used to get wasted on eggnog.
Also, you say tradition as if like it's a family tradition.
No, so we had to. So actually, it's kind of become one with my family. Though we go to the pub, like our local pub, and we get absolutely ruined, or at least kind of the men do, I guess. And then we just have Christmas Day. It's always like a family. Christmas Day is family. Boxing Day, I always consider like friends because of the amount of sport. Like going on to what Eddie was saying, in the UK alone, so Frank, not even including like Irish racing, French racing, anything like that. In the UK, you've got usually about 11 to 12 meetings on the day.
That's crazy.
And you get to this point where there's a race in the afternoon. So what is it, between like 11:30 and 3:30, going off nearly every 5 to 10 minutes. Like
are there even 11 jumps horse racing tracks?
Yeah, there's tons. Yeah, there's, I'd say maybe
in England,
maybe more.
Yeah. And plus, you've got some all-weather racing too, I think.
Yeah.
But I think the other distinction too is there's high-quality racing. So again, it's not just
for sure.
Here, watch
Christmas
this bad.
Yeah.
It's not Boxing Day. You've got the day off. Here, watch some crap horse racing because you got nothing better to do. It's like, oh no, here's a couple of the best races of the year for jumps racing. So you should go out of your way to watch this if you have any interest in horse racing.
Yeah. Referring to the Christmas meeting at Kempton, of course. It's fantastic. What, Christmas hurdle, the King George. So it's King George Day.
I'd say King George, right?
Yeah. But for me,
and doesn't the Premier League have matches too?
Yeah. So the Premier League does it the way that Thanksgiving sport in the US does it, where it's got like kickoffs, live coverage kickoffs staggered throughout the day. So like the first one starts maybe around midday, and then there's an 8 o'clock kickoff. So you've got like 4 games going through. So yeah, for me, not being American, like the Boxing Day UK is unbelievable in terms of like holiday sport. Don't know
what's your preference, Sam, from footballing perspective? Because it kind of ties into the same concept for me, which is the hangover recovery sporting distraction. Not that I get horrific hangover. I'm just saying like I'm getting hangovers in like the day after. Boxing Day or New Year's Day? Because obviously New Year's Day you also have football, and it's another nice doing nothing, sitting. You just sit at home, and you've got 6-7 hours of sport to distract you.
I actually usually am at the horse racing on New Year's Day because there's a traditional meeting at Exeter, which is near where I'm from. So when I'm down with my family, we sometimes go up to Exeter for New Year's Day. Usually it's pretty good racing. There's like 1 or 2 cards that Exeter has. Exeter's one of those kind of race courses where you'll see someone like Bristol de Mai go off at 1-6 in like the first couple of races of its season or something like that. So it's a pretty good test to see what it's doing. But so usually one of my traditions is going to Exeter. So I would probably say that Boxing Day still kind of holds supreme for me in that respect, because there is, I mean, as a gambling man, Eddie, Frank, you two must like blow up. Like there must be a part of your brain that just kind of like explodes that you can't keep up.
Well, what I love about it is because I like basically packaging in good odds-on shots into a big accumulator, and Boxing Day gives you the ability to throw in like 7 or 8 things that you feel pretty good about, where you're not having to say like, this horse is 1-2, but I don't know that much about it and I don't know why it's racing here, blah blah blah. This is like, no, this is a high quality horse, and I can take Manchester City and I can take Liverpool, and then if I want, I think it's Punchestown that starts on the 27th.
Listen to him. He's like a kid in a candy store.
So you can usually sort of combine that with some of the sort of Irish favorites at Punchestown on the 27th, 28th. So you can have this nice 3-day. And then if you've really hit it well, you've also combined maybe 1 or 2 teams from Christmas Day in the NBA. So you have a nice like 4-day festive period that you've just packed them all in. And if you win it, then you roll it over onto New Year's Day when you start going college football bowl games and
Eddie,
New Year's
breathe,
Day football.
Breathe.
I love that he was giving like 7 selections, and on Boxing Day it's over in like 4 minutes.
Well, just wait until when we get to the Christmas. If we do a Christmas podcast, I'm going to give 58 bets of the week.
So what you guys were talking about with the soccer, like which one you like better, the Boxing Day or the New Year's Day? I think that's comparable in the U.S. to the American football of Thanksgiving or New Year's Day, because either you go with Thanksgiving and you go more with the better holiday. I think, you have tons of food, you're with your family, and you're watching football, and everyone who's there is usually going to watch it as well, which is kind of always fun when it's people who don't normally watch it, and everyone can kind of get into it, and usually everyone will have some sort of small bet on or something like that. But you run the risk that the games are going to be shitty on Thanksgiving. Or you go with the New Year's Day bowl games, which there's usually, I think, about 4 or 5 of them, and they're all pretty high quality. The only thing that kind of sucks now is they aren't going to be the absolute highest quality, because those would be the semifinals for the college bowl game, for the college bowl final, or whatever it's called, national championship. So you're not getting any 1 through 4 seeds, but usually you have the Rose Bowl will be played there. So you have, good teams there, usually top 10 teams. The Sugar Bowl is usually played. That's like top 10 teams. And then you have some other ones that are usually like top 20 teams. So that's a good one too, where it's like New Year's Day, you don't want to leave the house, you're hungover, like you're too full, and you could just throw on 4 or 5 games. So it's like from as early as you wake up to, till you go to bed, there's going to be some decent college football on. So it's tough. I think I prefer the Thanksgiving just because it's associated with tons of food and good food. So that's always a plus.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of a different argument, though, right? That's non-sport. What we're really forgetting, though, is the truly best sporting event tied to a holiday, which is Royal Ascot and my birthday. Few things beat when Royal Ascot falls on June 20th. And we're actually able to go.
And it coincides once every couple of years with a major sporting football event.
Yes, now that's true. When you get World Cup or Euros plus Royal Ascot.
Like the planets aligning for Eddie.
plus maybe Copa America as well. I mean, what a time to be alive.
This boy don't want to sleep.
Who knows? Who knows how often this will be, but a family member's engagement party.
And then sometimes maybe even Game 6, Game 7 of the NBA Finals. It can really be a big day.
Wow. Trying to think if I've got anything. Usually, so my very, very local track from where I'm from is Newton Abbot, and they usually have a race day on my birthday or maybe like the day around it kind of thing. So usually that's become a tradition, but Newton Abbot is if there was tiers, this one's the lowest. It's summer jumps. So of course it's not going to be like big racing.
Oh, tears. I thought you meant like tears like coming out of your eyes.
Yeah, if there were,
what is it, like the saddest of the race courses?
Yes. The only reason it's not sad
yes.
is because it's in the summer, so it's got like a good feel.
But, I'll tell you what, after we've built it up so the podcast can sponsor a Royal Ascot race on my birthday, after that we'll figure out if we can stretch the money a little bit further and sponsor a race at Newton Abbot on yours.
Well, if you just empty out your pockets, I'm sure you can sponsor the whole card.
Should it be like the Big Chill podcast presents the Prince of Paris's birthday bash at Royal Ascot, St. James Palace Stakes?
Oh, you don't even want to go for like one of the other ones. You're just going straight for like the premiere.
No, you go even more obnoxious when they're just annoyingly long, and the commentator has to say it at the beginning. So you'll have to do like the Big Chill podcast. Subscribe on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your podcast. Bring like Gold Cup.
Yeah. I just love the fact that you're taking on like the Quipco races, the Quipco series, and you're just like, wow, we've been outbid.
Soon it will be the big the Big Chill series.
Quipco Long Jeans, the Big Chill podcast, right there, sponsoring all your major races.
How much better does the Big Chill Champion Series sound?
Yeah, that actually does sound pretty amazing. But what I love is when you go to these like Newton Abbot style races where sponsoring a race is so cheap that you'll literally get like the happy 38th birthday Derek handicap.
I wonder how controversial they can get.
Well, how controversial do you want to get? It's not like Holocaust.
Like could you do like a screw you Debbie for sleeping with my brother? Novice stakes.
Did you just say namaste? Like namaste? I thought that was incredible. See, I heard that as like namaste, but you called it the namastakes.
Well, Sam, speaking about what did you say? It sounded like you were talking about controversial, and then you said something like the Holocaust stinks. It's like, no, we're only allow pro Holocaust sponsors here.
Yeah.
Well,
another one we're forgetting.
The Down with the Jews Diamond Jubilee Stakes.
Great. Another one we're forgetting on New Year's Day is the Winter Classic.
Yeah, that's the
NHL one where they play outside.
That never interests me at all. When your major sporting event relies on a gimmick, then you're in trouble.
Wait, what?
But it's neat. So they pick a game that they play outside a hockey game. So they'll pick like a stadium, an outdoor stadium, and they'll put the rink in the outdoor stadium, and it'll all just be like, whether it's raining or snowing or something like that, they'll play outside. Rain obviously can't have very much, but
crazy, isn't it, Sam?
I don't really get it. Like I get what they're doing. It just doesn't seem wild.
I think it's just neat because it's kind of a lot of those players grew up playing outdoor, like on the pond and things like that. So it's kind of bringing you back to like childhood.
Kind of like a back to basics, back to where it all began, like Mighty
I'd
Ducks.
be way more interested in it if they literally played on a pond somewhere. If it was like really
Eddie, good thing you said that, because they're contemplating trying to figure a way to play on Lake Louise, which would be absolutely amazing. Because let me tell you, I've played hockey on Lake Louise before, and it was one of the highlights of my life.
Okay. I mean, but I'm assuming they're going to build. I don't want to see 50. I mean, I guess maybe they're planning on doing this year, right? Because there'll be no one in attendance.
That's kind of why they were throwing it out there. But then it also kind of caught on. Could they build some sort of structures off of the rink that people could actually watch in a future one? Because obviously you can't build things because you can't build on the lake. You can't put,
What, like, essentially it just becomes a giant game of like Buckaroo or Jenga. Like, how much can you put on?
Like that penguin game where you break through the ice.
Yeah. Don't break the ice.
Yeah. No, to me, I would find it kind of charming to watch them just play on a pond with like no one in attendance.
That'd be cool.
I'm less interested in seeing it with 25,000 people on temporary structures around them.
Yeah, I mean, even if they were, they probably have to be far enough away that it would look like there's no one watching. But one of the good things about the Winter Classic was, I think it was last year's. I mean, I can't remember. I'm almost positive. One of the players, so they usually play inside a smaller stadium, but a hockey rink is obviously going to be much smaller than a football field. And I think this was the one they played. It could have been the one they played in Michigan. I can't remember. It was Dallas. I forgot who they played. But anyway, so the player from Dallas got ejected from the game, but the walk from the rink to the tunnel of the stadium was a good 4 to 5 minute walk in ice skates. So he got ejected, and then he just had to like slowly walk to the tunnel while everyone just kept booing him for like 4 minutes. Oh. And there's these great memes of them playing like the Curb Your Enthusiasm music as he's walking off. It's really good.
What's the film with Will Ferrell, Blades of Glory? You know, when they're going through the mall? And they just trying to get through on the skates.
Yeah. Now here's a question kind of tied to this in a way. Frank, do you think that the Monday after the Super Bowl should be a national holiday?
So the two in America that people always debate is the day after the Super Bowl and the first day of March Madness. People always want as national holidays. So my issue with the day after the Super Bowl isn't it just a little bit easier to make the Super Bowl a Saturday? Like, I don't get it.
That is a fantastic question.
Rather than
like fundamentally changing the business relationship in America, surely just make it a day earlier.
I know they like to call it Super Sunday, but still, is it that big of a deal that you change it to the Saturday?
I guess maybe for the host city, you make more Monday. I turned into Forrest Gump for some reason. Jenny.
Best two-sport athlete ever.
Yeah, exactly. Couldn't shake him from my mind. But I guess you maybe make more money by it being on the Sunday because people arrive like on the Friday and then they don't leave till the Monday. Whereas if you made it a Saturday, people would come in maybe even Saturday morning. They're out Sunday morning. And then maybe that argument works. But yes, you're right. Especially as
one of two needs to happen soon.
Especially as the Super Bowl has more and more global appeal. The fact that it takes place, like for the two of us, the fact that it kicks off, in the middle of the night makes it a little bit harder to watch. Whereas if it was a Saturday, it would be like, well, no big deal, just Saturday night out.
Yeah, when I lived in Paris, it was a mandatory Monday holiday for me.
The thing I think though, talking about the first day of the March Madness, I think people would find March Madness less appealing if you actually turned it into a holiday. Like, I think that part of what's nice about March Madness is like you're at work and the games start and you're kind of like trying to keep up with the scores and there's a lot of stuff coming in and kind of the distraction.
Make it like a challenge. Can you get your work done and find out who the upset was?
Well, it's like when they CBS, right? When they're streaming it, they have that button so that you can hit like the tab button and it flips from the game to like a spreadsheet.
Yeah.
So that if you're watching,
Wow.
so if you're, so they have like a fake spread, they have like a fake sheet with like charts and graphs on it, and so you can if you're watching it on your browser at work, you can hit tab and it will just flick to that, so that if someone comes by, it at least looks. Although I like the idea of like, hey John, why have you flipped to a spreadsheet? You work in marketing. You're supposed to be writing an article today. It's just like, oh, this is just a great chart.
Yeah, and the other thing too about the first day of March Madness is a lot of those games aren't very good.
Yeah,
I mean, a lot of them are 1, 2, 3, and 4 seeds who are supposed to win. And okay, you get the upset, and that's what makes March Madness great. But most of the times, you're not getting the upsets; you're seeing blowouts. So, wouldn't you rather want it to be like the fourth round, the third round? You know, like the ones that are closer games.
Which is the other thing sometimes sport in England has going for it, which is the attachment of sports to bank holiday Mondays. So the idea that you'll consistently have this as a Monday off, and then they'll plan on having football or horse racing or whatever it is, or rugby on that day. So you get to combine your day off with good sporting events.
And usually it is that like they've thought about it as well. So most games, because public transport kind of semi-shuts down on like bank holidays in the UK, they try to make all the games derby games so that you don't have to travel that far to go to like a stadium or something like that. So they do think about it. It is really good. The games you can kind of play apart from that. I don't know if they bring that in anymore about the fixture. I don't think that's a thing anymore. I know it used to be for me in lower league because Torquay always used to play Exeter or Plymouth, but it's ridiculous. It's not like you can walk 20 miles. It was still tough to go to, and they were like, well, it's local. Really? Unless I get like horse.
Which would be possible in that area.
I'm actually building it up to be like some sort of hub of like sport. It's like, no. I think our nearest team of any sort of decency would be Bristol. Probably Bristol City. Plymouth used to be.
Yeah. I mean, I guess rugby, you've got
Chiefs.
Exeter Chiefs.
They are probably the best example, just going off topic, they're the best example of why promotion and relegation from the rugby premierships would still be a thing, because they wouldn't be there if it wasn't there. So it's a good example of how it isn't a case of just one team getting promoted and relegated. Like there are teams that can survive, and Chiefs are now dominating basically.
So I don't have many. This is the only, I guess, interesting one I could find is some of the best games ever played during a holiday. And I just thought this was quite ironic. Wilt Chamberlain broke the NBA scoring record on what holiday, do you think?
I mean,
Wilt Chamberlain.
Okay, so I mean, this is so Martin Luther King Day.
No, but think about Wilt Chamberlain. What do we know about Wilt Chamberlain?
I don't know. So that's not a giveaway. I'm going to go Labor Day.
What does he famously say he's done in his outside of his basketball career?
Yeah, but I'm trying to think of what the holiday is that ties into that.
There's not that many holidays in the US. I mean, we could just keep guessing here.
It's not like a day off holiday. Wilt Chamberlain broke this career NBA
National
career scoring
Women's
record
Day?
On Valentine's Day.
Oh, okay. He's famously slept with a lot of people, Sam, for context.
You didn't know that.
Okay. So he's breaking records and breaking hearts.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. I thought that was pretty interesting. That was really the only one that was kind of cool.
I mean, if that's kind of cool, then that must have been a bad list.
It was a bad list. There's not many exciting games have been played on holidays, at least not American sports-wise.
I mean, even if I think back in recent years to Thanksgiving Day games, I struggle to remember many. The only ones I really remember is when like a result has gone really badly for me. Like I remember the Packers playing the final game, like the late game, and blowing a lead, and that was not good. That was maybe 6 years ago. I remember when they had the Harbaugh like Thanksgiving Day game when the Ravens played the Niners. And then, honestly, apart from that, I don't remember many like individual things from Thanksgiving. Even last year, I can remember the Bills beating the Cowboys.
Do you remember that time Bobby Boucher showed up at halftime and the Mud Dogs won the Bourbon Bowl?
But I mean, I guess we'll save our previews for our what is normally our Friday episode, which this week will be a Thursday episode. So for anyone listening, it will go live Wednesday evening / Thursday morning. So you will be able to listen. I know people desperately need our 3 predictions for that Thanksgiving Day game.
People really want to hear my insight on the Texans Lions.
Exactly. You'll be able to get that in time. We'll make sure that fact.
You might melt because the argument you'll have to it's like an immovable object against an unstoppable force. You'll be like, I don't know what to do. Like you'll error.
You should really just abstain.
Yeah,
I'm gonna vote tie. I'm gonna. My bet of the week is a tie.
Wow.
I would.
You may as well, because if it's right, it's such a. I mean, we won't give you any credit for it if it's right, but it would still be impressive.
I really want to know what the line is now.
I'm gonna say I bet you Texans are favored now.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, Texans are favored, yeah. But
actually,
I see it.
When you guys were younger, did you ever play sports on holidays? Because for me, the big one was our rivalry football game was on the morning of Thanksgiving, which then added another nice wrinkle to Thanksgiving was you'd wake up, play your rivalry game. For us, we'd lose, and then get to go home, eat Thanksgiving dinner, and then watch real NFL football.
I feel like I remember playing some stuff on New Year's Day as a young kid. And apart from that, no. As a teenager, never.
I think I'm trying to think of holidays, kind of the Easter period. Like most things actually shut down for the kind of Easter holidays. There's no horse racing on Good Friday, for example, and stuff like that. So I don't think so. I think most things just get left on a Saturday or Sunday, whether it's a holiday or not. So say if the holiday's on a Friday or a Monday, it wouldn't change because of that. So I don't really recall any sort of... I may have played cricket as a youngster or something like that on one of the holidays.
Which too we didn't mention, right? Boxing Day test in Australia.
Yes.
You also get that. There's the test match that always starts on Boxing Day. So you get to throw
Australia,
that
England?
Depends. I think it's usually almost always Australia, England, or South Africa are usually often on a tour there. But I mean, it just depends, obviously.
Because the Gabba one, isn't it? Isn't it usually the Gabba that's the first one, isn't it, in the Ashes? I'm trying to think of the... Oh, wait, it's MCG at Boxing Day, isn't it?
I think it's the MCG, yeah.
Yeah, it's MCG Boxing Day.
With them. Yeah. But no, you're always guaranteed that it's going to be against a kind of an elite test playing nation. It's never going to be the Boxing Day test against Zimbabwe. But
that's a good one.
But yeah, no, it's not. Obviously, when the Ashes are on, then yeah, that's a big deal. If you have a year where you throw the Ashes in and the Boxing Day test match in, then you've really given yourself nearly 24 hours of great sport.
Yeah. It's just going off topic to moments that give you chills at the start of sports or sporting occasions or anything like that, repeated sporting occasions. I get goosebumps waiting for that first ball of an Ashes series. First ball, first test, the hype, the excitement. That is one of the best repeating sporting moments, I guess. Until
you see Steve Homerson bowl it, and it's...
When it's 8 foot the other way.
Yeah, that was just a downer. Then, series over.
Oof, yeah. Yeah, that was tough to take, that one.
But I guess... and
you know what gives me chills? When John Madden used to eat his turducken on Thanksgiving Day.
Oh, God. That's another tradition that... I think it's nice that they do it, and the guy eating the turkey leg. I think it's
the player of the game eats the turkey leg.
Wait, what? The whole leg?
Well, they give it to them and they grab it and they just take a sort of bite out of it.
Okay, so it's not some awkward 10-minute thing of just watching some guy eat a turkey leg.
You can't leave until you finish it. But at the same time, sometimes they make like too big of a deal of the turkey. You know, when they cut to like in the booth, they're all eating the turkey, and then they show like the camera guy. He's got like some turkey in his face, and they're like, "That's John. He's been a cameraman with us since 1983. Like he's left his family of 4 at home, but he's still happy to be with his real family here at the network."
Well, that's a bit of an FU to the wife.
Yeah. We all
Fuck
hate
you,
that
Debbie.
bitch.
Fuck you, Debbie.
We have to see that a-hole Joe Buck eating his turkey.
And just so you know, John's cheating on you.
With me.
Happy Thanksgiving, you bitch.
Maybe he'll get back and sponsor a race to get her back.
Yeah.
Take me home, Debbie. Stay as handicap.
That would be, "Dear Debbie, the turkey wasn't the only thing I stuffed on Thanksgiving."
Novice stakes.
Juvenile hurdle.
Yeah, it was an underage girl.
Yeah, juvenile fillies.
But no,
That would be a good way to sponsor it. You could do that. Like, Eddie can't get his eyes off the juveniles Phillies stakes.
Oh.
Like combine it together.
Oh, a lot of people used to do that with quiz names, didn't they? With like the
I can't wait. I can't wait until I can sponsor one with like Katie Duden. Like, I cannot wait. Oh, what a wedding present that will be. But no, the I mean, the disappointment this year, I mean, I guess we can react a little bit to last week's football, was just how bad the slate of games is this Thursday. And actually overall this weekend, it's just a bad set of games. And not been helped by the fact that the NFC East kind of just continues to look worse, even though they actually, in a way, had their best week in terms of actually a couple of them picking up wins. But it just overall just continues to look more and more depressing.
I saw that stat about the Cowboys where it's like, this is the first Cowboys win without a QB named Dak Prescott since 2015. Like,
which is
so do you think a team will finish above 500 in the NFC East? Do you think the team that wins goes above 5?
Interestingly enough, though, look at the Cowboys running. Look at the Cowboys running now. They're the only team that have got all three of the divisional games left. So 3 potential wins there, right? If they keep this going, they've got to play a Bengals team without Burrows, which now probably looks like a win. And then they're playing a 49ers. I mean, is there a chance there that they could pick up 4 wins?
I mean, I'll say this genuinely, even as bad as I think the Niners are, I'd be really disappointed if the Niners lose to the Cowboys.
Oh, but I mean the other 4 games, because I agree with you.
A
Burrowless Bengals and 3 NFC East opponents.
So yeah, I expect them to beat Bengals without Burrow. I don't expect them to beat all 3 NFC East rivals, just because I don't think they're good enough to just, like, I think all of the NFC teams are actually semi-competent. They're bad, right? None of them are good, but none of them, they might all be in the worst sort of 6-7 teams in the league, but they are all kind of shown glimpses of being capable. The Giants look okay. They're able to score points. They keep games kind of close. The Eagles have a lot of talent. It's just that Carson Wentz is mentally disabled. Washington is showing itself to be like sort of feisty.
Yeah, like pass defense as well.
Feisty.
I mean, what else you can describe them as?
What a description for a football team. They're kind of feisty, I guess.
I mean, here's the other thing too is, I mean, does anyone want to play Washington? Clearly cursed if you're a quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sitting that game out. Yeah, I'm just sitting that game out. You might get teams benching their starting quarterback against them just to avoid the possibility that he gets injured.
Yeah. Oh man, that Finley, their replacement, that was one of the worst performances I've ever seen in football. He had a 0 QB rating, Sam. 0.
So I saw his stats. It was like 3 for 10.
He played a whole
30
half.
yards.
Had a 0 QB rating.
Well, here's the real question.
If I turned up, would I get 0 by default?
Yeah,
By default,
you can't get lower than 0.
So fundamentally, if I turned up in some really half-assed padding and just
Sam the
stood
Squid would
there,
have.
Yeah.
I get 0.
If you'd just taken a knee every time you snap the ball.
Which would be funny to see. The coach is sending in plays and you're just taking a knee.
I mean, how does that make Finley feel coming off the pitch and knowing that like a block of wood could have done the same thing?
Oh, a block of wood could have done better. Because it wouldn't have
Because it
turned
would
the
have
ball
fallen
over.
down. It would have fallen down and not turned the ball over.
I had a teacher in high school. We took practice exams for the IB, which was the International Baccalaureate, like the equivalent for anyone who's done A levels in England or the AP exams in the US. And so we did this practice exam that he then graded just to see kind of where we were. And it's marked out of 7. And you fundamentally, I think it's almost impossible to get lower than a 3. I think you get a 2 just for turning up. And he handed them back. And so he's handing them down back face down. And this one kid turns it over and it's a 2. And he's like, the kid looks and he goes like 2 out of 7. It's not that bad when you think about it. And the teacher goes, you get 2 points just for turning up. A dead fish could have got the same score as you. It was just such a wonderful assessment of one of your students' capabilities.
I mean, that's impressive. That's seriously impressive. It's almost like in the A-level equivalent, you've got A to F, but then you've also got U.
Yeah.
Like the fact that they have left out so many letters of the alphabet to get to that point. Like ungradable is basically if you just got up on your desk and took a massive shit on it.
Yeah.
Because it's ungradable literally because they can't use the pen.
Or you spin it and you're like, this is so good, it's ungradable. The person who was grading this, their brain is not operating on the same level as me, and they were like, I am not in a position to grade this paper.
I thought you were talking about the shit. I thought you were talking about the shit was so great.
No, it's like if you took like a physics exam,
philosophy exam,
and a physics exam, but you're like, I'm Stephen Hawking basically, and they're incapable. This lowly peasant could not possibly grade my paper. This is what he is telling me.
I have this idea of just you saying that it's ungradable, but you're saying you're Stephen Hawking. Like somehow you have to act it in the chair.
Yeah, Stephen Hawking without the computer and the robot voice.
So we got the walking, talking Stephen Hawking.
No, not walking, not talking, not functioning Stephen Hawking. Just me looking quadriplegic in a chair. And they'll be like, he's not moving. He must be an absolute genius. We'll give him an
How is he telling us this? He doesn't even have the voice box or anything.
It's like we've just read him the question and he gave us this incredible 1,000-yard stare. He's either a complete moron or an absolute genius.
So it's one or the other. We're just going to grade him on a whim.
Exactly. But here's the real question. Do you think Joe Burrow comes back in a way that anywhere close to the level he was playing at before?
I mean, they've got to reconstruct his part of his knee, haven't they, completely, let alone the ACL
everything.
Damage.
It's like ACL, MCL, LCL.
So
everything.
So it's at least what, middle of next season he's back?
No, I think he's out
a year.
All
9 months to a year.
He's not. We're not seeing him again until
that's
2022.
That's pretty tragic. Like, that's really kind of devastating because it's your rookie year. You're definitely in the top 3 of that rookie year, and to have it like decimated by that is pretty tragic.
We can do it this way. Out of the players that have torn their ACLs this year, which one comes back the best? You have Saquon Barkley, Odell Beckham, Joe Burrow, Nick Bosa, Devin Bush. I'll skip on Tariq Cohen. Taylor Lewin, we can skip on him because he's a lineman. So out of those, Nick Bosa, Joe Burrow, Odell Beckham, and Saquon Barkley.
I'm going to say Bosa. And I'm only leaving...
Niners Nation!
I'm going to leave OB... I'm going to leave... Whoa, be careful with that one. I'm going to leave OBJ out because of age. So I think throwing him into that discussion is a little bit more difficult because, I mean, he's what, like 29 now? OBJ? 28, 29?
He was drafted 3 years before Barkley?
Yeah, so, yeah, getting towards, he's in his late 20s. So coming back from a serious injury as a wide receiver when you would think his career would naturally start ending 32, 33, 34, it's difficult. It wouldn't be that surprising if he doesn't get close to his previous level. Saquon's also difficult because running backs are almost irrelevant nowadays. So even if
he already had, like, this is his second major injury now.
And you just think that the position that he plays and the kind of impact you're going to take, the risk of re-injuring it is so high. And like having to try and cut and then getting hit and then all that. So I think Bosa is probably the best position out of all of them to come back at like close to the same level.
I mean, surely Alex Smith has given them all some sort of hope.
Alex Smith's given the world hope.
Yeah, I guess.
There's a lot of examples though of players that have torn ACLs and come back to a decently high level.
No, for sure. I mean, I'm not saying Burrow will obviously almost certainly make it back. The question is, obviously you're missing out on 2 years of development at a pretty crucial stage in your career, so that's a blow. And then possibly reduced mobility, which he wasn't the most mobile quarterback in the world, but still like being able to move around the pocket, but kind of to be Tom Brady and survive in the league requires Tom Brady level skills and game reading. So that will be interesting. Also, if you're a Cincinnati Bengals fan, this just sucks. Yeah, because you had hope there that maybe you were going to be like kind of good within 1 or 2 years, and now you're realistically looking at probably not winning another game this year, maybe a 1 or 2 game season win season next year. The positive spin, I guess, you put on it is Joe Burrow's going to come back.
2 good drafts.
He's going to come back with some good drafts. Yeah.
2 good draft picks. I mean, it's true. I mean, that could, who knows? I can't see him coming back. I mean, they say 9 to 12 months, but that was a horrific. His knee bent 90 degrees, but not in the way a knee should bend 90 degrees.
Or do the Bengals trade up, get Trevor Lawrence,
and then just cut Burrow?
You have Joe Burrow and Trevor Lawrence on the same team. Just platoon.
Maybe.
Didn't they release Andy Dalton, the Bengals? Like, wouldn't they have loved Andy Dalton right now?
He got the win for the Cowboys.
They're reveling in the Cowboys win.
I mean, honestly, they probably wouldn't love Andy Dalton right now because them just losing the remainder of their games now is the best thing for this year. Yeah. Now, for next year, thing is, there'll be quarterbacks that, you know what I mean? Like, who knows? Maybe it's someone like Jimmy Garoppolo who they pick up for 1 year. You know, there's a scenario in which a quarterback of that
God help the Bengals.
There's a quarterback of that standard might come back. There's a guy who recovered from I'm not going to say
horrifically
recovered from a knee injury. Now, one guy whose stay in hospital didn't go well for me. My old Kirk Cousins IV bag. Oof, it was poisoned this week.
It might be time to get rid of that IV bag.
Yeah, I pulled it out. It is. It's been disconnected. It ran dry. I pumped some some oxygen directly into my veins. But
I think that's deadly.
Yeah, it is. It is, Sam.
Can't be any worse than the Kirk Cousins IV.
No. Which, in fairness, Kirk Cousins actually didn't play badly. Like, he's not the reason the Vikings
threw over
lost.
300, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he was good. The killer was that they just couldn't get stops, and then offensively, they had turnovers at crucial times, none of which were his fault. So, I mean, it's the Kirk Cousins IV was not the issue. It was the rest of the Vikings team. What really annoyed me about that too is like I was the person who A, believed in the Cowboys for quite a long time, and B, said I don't think Andy Dalton's that big of a drop off from from Dak Prescott. And then of course Andy Dalton comes back and he wasn't spectacular, but he was fine.
Another, I think, slightly surprising one was the Packers and the Colts. I think surprising considering the fact that the Packers were up 28-14 and then scored 3 points in the second half and let that game go, basically.
What was it, like 20, basically until the final couple of seconds, really, wasn't it, that the Colts stopped them scoring?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the Colts, right? I mean, it's interesting, though, because that was one of the rare times where the Colts have won from behind. And that was good to see. I think that's another kind of notch on the credential that you want to say for the Colts, because they win when they're ahead because they can rely on the defense to stop it. But can they win purely based on what it was and what they do? They scored, what was it? Like they scored on 4 possessions at the start of the second half, and they shut out the Packers for basically the entire second half. So I got nothing but praise for the Colts, and I think they'll look pretty good. I mean, if it wasn't for that Titans win, they'd be looking pretty good for the division.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I mean,
is it a yeah or is it a no?
My brain
is that what you want to call is that what you want to call a race?
That's what happens when the IV starts to run out. Just my brain is faltering. I'm critically dehydrated now. But the interesting thing about that game was, I mean, the Packers threw it away. Then the Colts nearly threw it away by just having an ungodly number of offensive penalties on their final drive. The game was over. I mean, the game was over. They were basically in a position to nearly just kneel it out, but in the very least to kick a field goal that would have made it a not comfortable 6-point lead, but at least put the Packers in a situation where they needed a touchdown, and somehow ended up punting. Like, it was just, I kind of stopped watching the game, and then all of a sudden the Packers had the ball back down 3, and it took me, I had to kind of like look at the sequence to figure out exactly what had happened, because it didn't seem possible. But
that was a game I listened to on the radio, and that's the good thing about listening on the radio is you'll hear the actual announcers for that team, so they're very biased, and listening to the Colts announcers talk about how they were giving the game away with the penalties was just so fun. Like, oh, what is it? A flag? Oh, what else is it going to be? Oh, of course it is. And they're just like going crazy. That was pretty funny.
Now, another team that nearly gave it away, somehow the Chargers went from being just in complete control against the Jets to nearly blowing it, which would have been
being themselves.
Yeah,
this is what they do.
For a team that's epically self-destructed several times this year, the fact, and it was bizarre to happen because like I wasn't watching that game. I watched the start of it, and then they were in complete control, so I took that game off, and then I just had the red zone for that coverage. But I guess because the red zone kind of thought that game was over too, a lot of the events didn't even make it onto red zone. And so it wasn't until I looked at a score elsewhere, I was like, oh, this game is suddenly a game again. Like, it's a 1-score game suddenly. That was kind of mind-blowing, even though Herbert was, I'm going to say he was fantastic, but he was playing against the Jets, so he was good.
He was fantastic.
I mean, we discussed, right, rookie of the season, rookie of the year. I mean, that's over now, right?
Yeah, it's done. He has that now. Well, I will say the only one I think that can push him would be Justin Jefferson on the Vikings, because he is in the top 5 of all receivers stats wise. So he's got a chance.
Do you just give it to Joe Burrow's knee?
Yeah, you just give it to Joe Burrow because he's never getting on the field again. Yeah, the interesting thing about the Jets-Chargers one is the end of their safety at the end. So I don't know if you were watching it. So they were up, 8, right? They were up 8,
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the Chargers had the ball, 4th down, and they didn't want to risk the punt. So instead, the punter, or I think it was a punter they put in, took the ball and then just ran as far back as he could and stood at the end of the end zone to waste the time to run out the clock. But they pushed him out with a second left. So
here's the thing is, he was an idiot because he literally just
stood
ran
there.
back
If he
and
just
stood on the line. He just stood waiting to be. If he just moved slightly, it would have been fine. And the smarter version of that, right, was what the Broncos did against the Dolphins, which is, okay, there was only 4 seconds left, but they had Locke just drop back, like snapped it to him in the shotgun. He just dropped back a little bit further and then just heaved the ball downfield, which ended up being a completion, which was kind of crazy.
Which is
but
funny.
Like fundamentally,
which just shows how bad Locke is. Yeah. That he was purposely trying to not hit a receiver with the ball and still fucking hit his receiver. That just shows you how terrible Locke is. Yeah, his accuracy is so bad he can't even miss a receiver.
But like fundamentally, that's the smarter way to kill 8 seconds.
The only issue with that is I have seen, I think 1 or 2 times where a person has been flagged for intentional grounding, and then it becomes really bad because even if he wastes the timeout, you can't end on a penalty. So then the other team would get the ball back with a no time to play.
If it was 4th down.
Yeah. Which it was in both of those.
Oh, yeah. Was it in the... Yeah, it's true.
And they never mention this because I heard the announcer be like, all he's going to do is step back and just heave it. And it's like, no, they'll call intentional grounding. You have to be throwing towards someone. So you at least have to have someone running down.
You just
or step out of the pocket.
You have to get outside the pocket and throw past the line of scrimmage.
Right? One of those two, yeah.
Yeah.
But the Jets one was pretty funny because he still gave them a second left, and then they have to punt. But of course, the Jets being the Jets, they have 2 options. You can either fair catch it and have 1 second left to then throw it as far as you can, or just do some stupid like run the ball, lateral it, try and make something happen. But the guy just catches it, runs 10 yards, gets tackled, and the game's over.
He didn't even get tackled. He kind of just gave himself up.
Just fell.
He just was like, nope.
I mean, the epitome of the season, really, right?
Oh, yeah, no, fundamentally.
Not today.
But I'm going to suggest, by the way, an official Big Chill bet that I think we should all place, which is that I think we should all place nothing significant, like 25 pounds on Ben Roethlisberger MVP.
Yeah.
No.
He's dropped to 16-1 now. So 25 still returns 425. But I think if you play the remainder of the season out 10 times, he wins at the MVP once.
It's a weird way to say that.
I mean,
I'm saying in a sense the odds are bigger than they should be. There's value in him at 16-1.
Does he have to win the Super Bowl? Yes.
No, it's a regular season award.
Oh, it's sorry. Yeah. I mean,
so
voted before.
He needs to finish he needs to, obviously they need to go 16-0.
And he has to put in some stats.
I think he needs to go 16-0 and put in stats, or he needs to go 16-0 and Mahomes, Wilson, and Rodgers need to have one bad game. And he's just 16-0.
Because even if he goes 16-0, you have a Mahomes 15-1 with a much crazier stat line. You have to have the Chiefs lose maybe even 2 more games. Because even if Mahomes goes 14-2 and puts in a career best stat line, I think he's going to get it. The issue, the thing you have going for you is the Chiefs have a tough schedule down the rest.
They have a tough schedule where I think either they lose at least one, or in the very least, I would be surprised if statistically Mahomes is incredible. Because you look at the remaining games, Bucks, Broncos, Dolphins, Saints, Falcons, Chargers. That's 5 good
Saints
defenses.
Could give them, the Saints and the Bucks could give them some trouble.
Even the Chargers kind of gave them a little bit of trouble. Now, here's the other thing, too, is, right?
The Chargers just let up 28 to the Jets.
But here's the other scenario, too. You go into week 17, the Chiefs are locked into the 2 seed. The Steelers are chasing the 16-0. Mahomes doesn't play.
Ben won't
Big
play.
Ben.
No.
Wait, you think Big Ben won't play if they're 15-0?
No, I don't think he'll play.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Why would you risk that? Why would you risk getting him hurt?
For 2 games.
So you can be the New England Patriots and go 16-0, make it to the Super Bowl and lose?
Or you be the Indian. Okay, let me flip it on you, Frank. Or you be the Indianapolis Colts, who were 15-0, lost their final game, made it to the Super Bowl, and lose. Like you can do it.
Yeah,
every
and
way.
at the end of the day, they're still losers. Like, why would you risk getting hurt? The main thing is to win the Super Bowl. Who cares if you go 15-1 or 16-0?
Oh, I would care.
Well, Eddie, that's all you care about is stats. You're not a team player. We all know that.
No, but that's the definition of being a team player.
No, winning the Super Bowl is being a team player. I will sit out this game, guys, because it's more important that we win the greatest trophy there is than to get some statistical achievement.
I mean, it's not a statistical achievement.
It is.
So no one's ever done it 16-0. So I was looking at it. So the Dolphins did it.
Not since the league expanded.
Oh.
Yeah, so the Dolphins won all 14 in 1972. And then that's it.
Yeah, since the league expanded, the closest has been the Patriots losing in the Super Bowl when they had gone 16-0 in the regular season. But no team has gone undefeated and won the Super Bowl, but teams have gone 16-0 in the regular season.
Oh, yeah. The Patriots went 2007. Okay. Yeah.
And then lost in the Super Bowl. But
beat the Giants in the week 16 and then lost them in the Super Bowl.
He will absolutely play. There's no way they are 15-0 and then they bench him.
No.
Not Mike Tomlin, not Ben Roethlisberger. No way.
Yeah, you're right. Big Ben's not injury prone or anything. And they have such a solid backup that if he got hurt, it wouldn't matter.
Plus, well, here's the other thing too is even then you're factoring. I mean, they're going to be playing the Browns, so they might be playing the Browns second string. They put Big Ben in for a half. Here, Big Ben rack up 400 yards and a half.
Here, Myles Garrett. Here's a helmet. Go end Big Ben's career. Game over.
I will do a beer, pint, and a burger bet with you.
If it makes it this far, I would as well.
If they are 15-0, that Big Ben starts that game.
How long does he have to play?
A minimum of a quarter, but fundamentally, I'll give you a half because the game either needs to be they're clearly losing, or they're clearly winning.
Yeah, I like that. I think that's so risky. It's so pointless.
Did I win off you last time, Eddie, as a squid? I won a Peroni and what was the meal?
And
calamari.
You have to turn into a cannibal. But I think we have to do the big chill bet on Big Ben.
We sponsor a race called that.
The Big Chill Big Ben. It's got a good ring to it. Plus, we just have to turn into Big Ben for MVP supporters, so then we can get Big Ben on the podcast after they've gone 19-0. That is the other reason too, Frank, why he might play, which is there's only one team with a bye, right?
That's different though. Then I'd have to reassess, because if it's for them to still get first place overall in the playoffs, then you put him out there because the bye is hugely important.
So the bet is only valid if it's a meaningless game.
Yes. If no, not meaning. Well, according to Eddie, it's not meaningless because going 16-0 is the greatest thing you can do in football. No one cares about winning the Super Bowl.
I mean, like mathematically meaningless for the Steelers.
Yes. Mine is much clearer. I'm taking it no matter what if they're 15-0 going into the final week. I'm not a sissy. I've got very clear, simple terms. Frank over there is going to be like, well, not if it's raining, not if Big Ben got out of his bed on the left-hand side that day. Not
Who
if
gets
the
out of their
game
bed
is
on the
just
left-hand side?
Well, if you sleep on the left.
Sociopath does that.
Well, what? So you sleep on the left and roll over to the right?
I sleep. It depends on what way you're facing the bed.
I sleep on the left-hand side of my bed, which would mean technically I get out of the right-hand side of my bed when I'm then in bed. If you see what I
It's
mean.
gotten very confusing.
Yeah. I get in on the left, but get out on, which I guess makes sense. I get in on my left, but get out on my right.
Let's stop talking.
Oh, because you face the other way. I understand.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm not a
I know
real
what he's
psycho. I don't sleep. I don't get into bed in reverse.
You're like the
back shuffle into my bed.
Yeah, just
like the
retracing your
Coldplay.
steps from the morning.
Like
It's like the end of the day.
like the scientist video, the Coldplay video. So the only other thing I want to bring up that Eddie and I were talking about off the podcast is benching Tua, because I just think that is one of the dumbest things you can do, where you took out Fitzpatrick because you said Tua gives us a better chance to win. Now, I argued against that, but that's what they wanted to do. If Tua gives you the better chance to win and he's a rookie and you say, well, he gives us a better chance to win and we want him to develop because obviously he's going to be our franchise QB, you then don't 2 weeks later or 3 weeks later take him out of a game that you're losing because you then even quoted as saying, we think Fitzpatrick can give us the better chance to win at the end of the game. Then why are you putting Tua in the first place? One, that's just dumb logic. And two, he can say all the right things, but there is no scenario where Tua goes home and feels good about what happened and shakes off the fact that he was benched just because they wanted to win the game. Because as a rookie, no matter what, you're going to say now he's going to be looking over his shoulder every week. Like if he throws an interception in the second quarter, is he going to start thinking like, oh shit, I have to really tone it down now because if I throw another one, I might get benched. And that's not how you want, especially a guy like Tua, who has a lot of great plays off of instinct. That's not how you want someone like that to play. And that pissed me off a lot. And I'm not even a huge Tua fan, but like if you're going to pick him, ride him out, let him play.
You're a Tua hater.
I'm not a Tua hater.
You just hate where he's from and all the people from there.
I'm not a fan. Yeah, I'm not a fan of his upbringings.
Oh my God, that could have been. Why didn't you just say you're not a fan of people from? Why
that was worse.
That was the worst way you could have gone with that.
Yeah. I'm in total agreement with you. I was, because it was a game that I wasn't keeping that close of an eye on at the time. When I'd assumed he was injured. Like that, to me, that was the only thing that made sense. So to then find out that he'd been benched, I don't get it. Now, I don't know whether they feel good or bad about the fact that then Fitzpatrick on that final drive throws the interception. Because obviously if Fitzpatrick had driven them down, tied the game, goes to overtime, wins the game, then Fitzpatrick has to stay as the starter. Like you can't then re-bench Fitzpatrick. Whereas at least now it opens it up for like things weren't going well for Tua that day. We benched him. He's back in. It's his job though.
Yeah, they already said he's starting again. Like there's no QB controversy supposedly. Yeah,
but you're right. How he'll feel like there's at least some leash on him as to how short or long it is. Who knows? But it's not like, Patrick Mahomes is never worrying like, well, if I have a 4 interception game, they might bench me.
Yeah, no, agreed. It's just, yeah. And I still believe Fitzpatrick, I think does give them the better shot to win. I mean, that was a game there where you needed a QB to try and make plays and Tua could not do anything. And maybe a year from now he can, but right now it doesn't look like he is a QB that can lead a team. He's a QB that can manage a team. But yeah, that was not a smart play.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to see. I guess that kind of will save the rest maybe for the predictions on Wednesday. I guess the other reaction to the big sporting events of the weekend, where Manchester City lost to Spurs in the biggest match of the weekend in Premier League football, which obviously I thought that City were going to win. And my reason for thinking that City were going to win is because I thought that Mourinho was going to do what Mourinho does and park the bus and be too defensive. He did park the bus. They were incredibly defensive. And City just, I'm not going to say couldn't break them down, but couldn't score. because they had opportunities to score. So it's not as if they just couldn't sort of actually breach the defense. But I don't know how to feel. I mean, I think we can basically rule out City winning the Premier League. I think that seems highly unlikely now. Now, whether or not Spurs now are serious title contenders, that bit I don't know.
I mean, what's their record now? Like 6-2-1? Same as Liverpool, right? It's too early. It's too early to be saying everything you're saying. The problem for Man City, though, is that this inconsistency that plagued them last season doesn't seem to be going. So based on a season and 10 games worth of data with this team, it's not looking good for them putting up any sort of momentum here to do anything with it. As for Spurs, I said last time, I need to see more. They beat Man City, and Man City weren't clinical enough, but also they gave Spurs, like, the forward line, whenever they did get the ball, they gave them a lot of space.
Yeah.
It was just stupid. It didn't make any sense that they weren't pressing the most dangerous part of the Spurs team, but they were just allowing them to play whilst not really doing their own pressing either. It was a dumb performance. It was a dumb piece of management, I think, from Guardiola. But
the thing that I thought, I was going to say that the stat that I thought was pretty crazy was through this time last year, City had scored 27 goals, and this year they have 10 in the same amount.
This is Guardiola's worst. This is Guardiola's worst start as a manager. Like, regardless of where he is, Bayern Munich, Barcelona, City, this is his worst start by a mile. And I just don't think it's... The problem for Man City, though, is... the only saving grace for Man City is that Liverpool do keep getting injuries. And there doesn't seem to be... Like, they're not going to be Liverpool last season.
They're like the Niners.
Seem to be it's going to be unpredictability. But I didn't appreciate Klopp. Did you see his comment, Eddie, or maybe Frank? He basically said to BT and Sky, you've got to sort out the fixture list because we're only going to end up with 11 players. It's like, pretty sure last season, you're basically saying that other teams need to manage themselves better with the injuries. They got lucky last season with the lack of injuries. They're not lucky this season. And Klopp just bugs me. If it doesn't, he's this kind of happy manager, isn't he? He's happy when it's going well and he's got stuff to say, or he's like that laugh off kind of guy if VAR goes in his direction. But the second it goes against him, he just comes out fighting, and it just bugs me.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I get from the Sky and BT Sport and BBC or Amazon, whoever is covering the games at that particular time, I understand the Champions League, mixing the Champions League kickoffs with Premier League. You don't want the Wednesday night early. You don't want the, as we discussed a couple weeks ago, with the Saturday kickoff. That bit you don't want, but I don't really see what his complaint is this time. Like, okay, they played Sunday evening, but they don't play again until Wednesday evening at home. So I don't really understand the issue there. Not to pull the Frank on the City Spurs match in terms of like trying to spin it like how the Jags could have won. But I do think it's one of those games where the early Spurs goal just completely changed the complexion of the match. And it did set it up perfectly for Spurs to just go, okay, now we'll sit back and try and absorb pressure. And we're not too scared of what this City team is going to be able to. Admittedly, a City team that's missing a few players and that Sterling didn't start and, all sorts of things. I mean, they desperately need a forward. This is clear. I'm sure in January they'll address that issue. That they desperately need someone to score goals and lead the line. Having this team of 5'8" quick, nimble players, a full team of them, just doesn't work in the Premier League. It just doesn't.
I mean, just going back to it, I get what you mean about the kind of swing as well because of that VAR, I guess, is another talking point of this weekend. But it wasn't like a single controversial decision. There was everything right and wrong with VAR happened this
No, I didn't mean specifically VAR. I just meant Son scoring in the first 5 minutes. That's what I mean.
Oh, I just meant overall as well with that decision as well. Like those kind of swings matter in football, probably more. I don't know what you think of VAR this weekend, but it was already beyond a joke, but it's...
So, I mean, the match in which it was the biggest issue, right, was the United West Brom match, where West Brom were awarded a penalty and then VAR took the penalty away, and then where United got to retake a penalty after VAR ruled that the keeper had stepped off his line. I actually feel like both of the decisions were correct. I think the defender got the ball in the United instance, so I don't think it should have been a penalty. And whilst I'm not in favor of the keeper on off the line rule being enforced when it's literally his back heel is half a millimeter off the line and they go, well, there you go, got to retake it. In this instance, he had leapt forward sort of half a yard to cut down the angle, and it obviously makes a difference in his ability to make the save. So I thought that should have been retaken too. He then did the same on the second penalty, which was the interesting thing. If he hadn't scored, they probably would have made them retake it another time. But it bothers me, like De Gea had the one against Crystal Palace, I think in United's first game of the season, where they made them retake the penalty after he was literally, I mean, you'd have struggled to have put a piece of paper between his heel and the line, and they've decided, well, yeah, okay, this one you got to retake. That one, that's where the rule, I don't like it, but.
Well, also, my bet of the week was ruined, slightly ruined by VAR.
Yeah, what was that? The Brighton Villa game.
Yeah, Villa had a chance for a penalty, and then they VAR'd and overruled it. Granted, there would have been 1 minute left after that for them to score another, but Brighton were down a man. So there is a tiny scenario that it could have happened. My bet is now voided because of that VAR ruling.
Yeah, okay, you blame that. Yeah. But for me, what bugs me the most is this concept of the marginals. Like you say, like the De Gea one was against Palace, right? Like the opening game, and you put a piece of paper between it. It's a marginal call, but they gave it. Letter of the law says you give it. Matip's against Leicester. Like, how is that not? That's actually one of the most clearest handballs you'll ever see. The guy is looking at the ball. He lifts his arm outwards, his left hand, sorry. So it's not even like it's hit like upper part of the shoulder. He's hit, like he's pulled out his arm. And it's not given. To me, that doesn't make sense. Like, that's what bugs me about VAR. It's like, if you're going to do marginals, do them all the time. But also, if you're going to see blatant ones and not call them, why? I don't get it. I don't get that when things are referred and why they're not referred, kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure. And they haven't really explained that. I do like, at least in the Premier League now, referees are going to have a look at the screen more and making the decisions themselves. I like that they've made that shift. Although one of the things that kind of bothers me about that is you've now reached the stage where, the referee is going to have a look, so this is going to be overturned. I can't really remember an instance where the referee has gone to take a look and stuck with his original decision. So in a way, it's kind of like getting a video game cut sequence where you're like, oh shit, like you don't have to do this to me. I know what's going to happen now.
Yeah, you're right. People scream for it as much as they do a penalty now because they know it matters just as much. So it becomes,
And it boils down to a discussion we had before. Once you put everything in slow motion, I think the referee should only be able to see the replays at full speed. Because I think if he's saying, this was my original decision, okay, give me more angles, fine. Give me angles that I didn't have, but just show it to me. But once you go super, super slow-mo, and then you're starting to pick up on like, well, his arm was in a kind of unusual position or a kind of natural position, and I can justify it because I'm breaking it down, or maybe he clipped his heel, kind of going through all that stuff. Just show it to them at full speed and let them make their mind up.
I actually don't mind it being slowed down. Like in rugby, obviously, they slow it down as well. But I want them to do it the way they do in rugby, where they have it on the big screen, because every Premier League club has the big screens to do it. And you hear the referee explaining the process. Put them on the spot.
No, it would be so different though, because in rugby, people are just kind of like watching
Courteous.
and
You would
cheering
just be
a little
hearing
bit.
swear
This would just be
words.
like wanker, wanker, wanker. It's like,
But I think that honestly, if referees were put more on the spot for justifying their decision publicly, it would matter. They would have to genuinely think about what's going on.
yes, maybe yes, but yeah, we're not at that. And you also have to deal with players. Then would be coming. You know, in rugby, the players all go away, and when they do approach, they speak respectfully. Whereas in this, you'd have, you know, you'd have Harry Kane. Oh, that was a fucking pen, ref. You know.
Which the ref wouldn't be able to see the big screen because there'd be 7 players standing in front of him, just like pointing at the screen, like getting in his way, screaming.
Yeah, I mean, that obviously sucks for football, doesn't it? That's more of a, that's not a point against it. That's a point against football.
You had Suarez booked a couple of weeks ago in the Champions League for standing in the area reserved for the referee to watch the VAR replay. Like the little box they have around the tiny screen, Suarez had put himself in there and was talking to the referee as he tried to make his decision. So yeah, the footballers just aren't up to it. But Frank, you did mention bet of the weeks there, and maybe this is an opportunity just to say we had 2 losers and we had 1 winner. So Frank, you lost. You had Villa to win and over 2.5 goals. You lost.
Had the over 2.5.
Yeah, you're now down to 40,000. Sam, you lost. Unfortunately, the Kirk Cousins IV let you down.
Yeah,
everything
sucks.
else in your accumulator won: England, Steelers, Chargers, Vikings, Chiefs. But you lost, and that drops you down to 20,000. And I won because I had the Steelers, Chiefs, Saints, and Chargers, and that bumps me up to my 23,900, and now I'm up to 135,725.
Nice. I'm going to be getting a loan out of you soon.
Yeah.
I'll bet my Peroni and calamari on it.
Yeah.
Stop betting the things I have, like a watch.
How much is that worth? Is that worth 10,000?
Yeah, exactly. Your kitchen cabinets on this one. And then I guess that's a way of us saying England in the rugby looked dominant against Ireland.
Our house.
Which was interesting. Elsewhere, France beat Scotland. Also saw a really interesting match in the
Georgia kept Wales close.
Yeah.
Well, scoreline close. It was never really in doubt, but scoreline close at least.
Closer than you'd think. In the Rugby Championship, which this year is now reverted to calling itself basically the Tri-Nations because South Africa are not taking part because of COVID, whereas Argentina have moved base to Australia and New Zealand for 4 months. Australia and Argentina had a tie in a not very thrilling match. So overall, rugby back in full swing, quite interesting, and we'll probably start covering that a little bit more as we get towards the Six Nations.
Making a name for themselves at the moment, beating the All Blacks. Time with Australia, they're doing things a bit more consistently. But the problem with Argentina down there is because they've got to deal with 3 really good sides. It's not even comparable with like Italy and the Six Nations. Like Argentina are good, but it's just a shame that they're always spanked. Like when New Zealand get going, for example.
Yeah, you know what's going to happen to them in the World Cup. That's the thing. Yeah. They'll be found out when it gets to that level. But yeah, on the one-off match, they can hold their own, but they can't sort of compete over the length of a full tournament. Also, it was interesting. Barcelona lost to Atletico Madrid. Continued their kind of indifferent start to the season.
And they're 12th, aren't they?
Yeah, they're getting a lot of flack because Spanish teams are required to send 1 player to meet the press afterwards. Same in international football, for example, same rule applies. And Barcelona chose to send not Messi, not Griezmann, not one of their sort of established players. They sent a teenager who was playing in the match, so it wasn't like totally out of character, but still arguably their most inexperienced player. which I think probably says a lot about the characters within the team. And I always thought it interesting in the like Messi versus Ronaldo debate. I think you would have had Ronaldo out there. He would have maybe been firing back at the press, but I think he would have been out there representing the team. And the fact that Messi kind of was like, no, so screw this, I'm going home. Let this kid take the hit. It says a lot about him.
Yeah. I've usually, for a long time, stood on the kind of Messi-Ronaldo debate on the side of Messi. But in the kind of latter years, the twilight part of their careers in this, it's kind of feeling like
movie.
it's going the other way.
Better book, though.
God.
Oh my days. Yeah, I've been more leaning towards Ronaldo now. Seeing those half rumors that keep coming out that he might be returning to Man U for like his final years of sorts. He's not dying there, but playing.
Yeah. Do you have news that we don't? Just, I also thought it was interesting. I saw Zlatan Ibrahimovic tweeted today. I don't know if you saw, but David Beckham signed a big deal with EA.
Yeah,
so that he's
the FIFA.
been included in FIFA. For a £40 million deal to get himself included in FIFA 21. And obviously Zlatan and a number of other players have seen this and kind of questioned why they don't get paid to appear in the game. And so Zlatan tweeted out this kind of like, so not specifically referencing the Beckham story, but clearly this is the only reason why he would be doing it. But like, I don't remember getting any money from FIFA. I don't remember consenting to having my image and name used in the video game. How come I've never been given any money? This is going to take some investigation. Which immediately people are like, well, you play for AC Milan, who
have the rights, right?
It's Fifth Pro.
They have the rights to you, and then they sell them to FIFA, right?
I think it's called Fifth Pro, isn't it, or something like that?
And then even worse, he was like, I can't even. Part of his tweet was like, I can't even remember. Like I wasn't aware of the fact that I was in FIFA. Was basically what he did, which is remarkable given the fact that he's been.
Most people wait for their attributes.
Even worse. There's a picture of him holding his FIFA card because like his
attribute card or whatever.
They do the promotion where they like send them the attribute card. So there's like the FIFA 17 picture of Zlatan at the training ground holding his like FIFA attribute card. So I mean, Zlatan's interesting, right? And sometimes makes some valid points, but this one just seemed a bit dumb.
By the way, that 40 million
leading
deal,
his team this year.
That 40 million deal, like FIFA 21's already on offer. So it's like you spend 40 million, then cut the game in like 40% like discount.
Yeah, I mean it's remarkable, right? Because that's more than it's more than any contract he ever signed as a football player. So it's
I saw that. That's crazy.
And he did fundamentally nothing.
Oh, that's a little harsh.
No, I think he means to be in FIFA now. Not he didn't do anything in his career.
I think he means in his career.
No. I mean for this 40 million. Like FIFA have turned up and they've said, let us just do some, animation of you, and we'll do everything else.
Yeah. No, to me, it kind of blew my mind. I would have assumed because they've had old players in the game for years. And I don't actually play Ultimate. I don't play Ultimate Team, so I don't kind of get exposed to that aspect of the game. But I'd assumed Beckham was in it, to be honest, because I just thought all recent players were.
Have you ever got into it? So I guess Frank with Madden or any of the EA ones with like Ultimate Team. Have you ever like got into that?
No, not really.
To me, it just feels like you have to spend money, and I don't want to.
Yeah,
You'd rather lose it on the Vikings.
If it's a choice between losing it on the Vikings or spending it the same amount of money on virtual cards that I then
get nothing for,
pretend to unbox and they pop up in front of me, and then I lose to some 12-year-old in Thailand who doesn't even own a pair of shoes. then yeah, if those
I
are
don't know why I
But-
heard that's parachute.
Wait. But using that same scenario, he will spend money on gems to build up his civilization in Clash of Clans to still lose to
I
a
never spent money.
12-year-old.
No.
Did you
Thailand.
ever spend? Like,
I
I remember
never
joining
spent-
Oh, Eddie
that
used to
late on.
spend hundreds,
That
and then he
is
would
such
say
a
like,
lie.
"I'm not spending anything. I just got like 1,000 gems. I just found them."
No, that was JP. Don't mix up the stories. Don't you dare.
I'm not mixing up the stories.
I never spent any money. The only time I can be accused of kind of spending money is when we did the Christmas gift to each other. So we each, so that
And
way
he
it wasn't.
gifted himself 100.
What did you do?
I didn't do. Frank is just making this up. This is. I should be suing you over this,
This is fake news at its finest.
but actual fake news. But no, I've never done that. But hey, big for all our Football Manager listeners who are disappointed that since that interview we've not covered any Football Manager. But tomorrow,
It's out now?
well, at midnight tonight, I think, is released. So when people are listening to this,
yeah.
it will be out.
What time is it now, Eddie?
Oh yeah, it's true. It is. Yeah, it's true. It is out now. So far, seemingly mixed reviews, but I'll be interested to get my hands on it, start our file, and see how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, just to put one note on it, you got to give them some slack, haven't you, with COVID? Like, they weren't allowed to get out there and do the scouting that you would usually do. And
Do you though? I don't really understand why. See, to me, it would have made sense if they'd made no match engine improvements and stuff like that. That aspect of it seems understandable, that they were working remotely and didn't have access to certain things. But when it comes to like basic improvements in the game, seeing as this only set in March, and you would imagine that by March you're already significantly into working on, like I would assume you launch in November, you're immediately onto the new version, right? Like, so you're 6 months into it by the time everything goes remote, and they're all working on computers. It's what the job is.
yeah, but there's other games that have been delayed because of COVID, so you got to give them like
Yeah,
some
because they're all
break in the
lazy.
game.
They're lazy bastards.
Brilliant. Okay.
All right. They're releasing Wonder Woman on HBO Max on Christmas Day, so we're all good. That will not be delayed anymore.
Which would you rather watch, Wonder Woman on Christmas Day or the NBA lineup of games?
Oh, Wonder Woman. That's not even a question. Because first off, I really enjoyed the first Wonder Woman. I thought it was good. So I assume this one will also be good. And second of all, I watch 5 NBA games a year anyway, so it doesn't matter.
What part of it was good?
The Wonder Woman movie?
Yeah. I mean, was it the part where they used like a World War II plane to take down the God of War? Like, what was the good
That was
bit?
part of it. I thought it was well done. It's way better than any of the other DC movies.
Up to that point, it was definitely the most.
So you were
Okay,
on
one.
board with an Amazonian woman who would yield a truth of lasso or lasso of truth.
Yeah,
That was all
fun.
okay. But the minute
Yeah.
they took down the God of War with a World War II plane, that's where you cried foul. Oh, no way.
Yeah, you can't like. There's nothing real about an Amazonian lady with a truth lasso. At least there was World War II biplanes, like planes.
Hey, maybe not. Maybe this is a podcast that doesn't believe World War II ever happened. This is part of us getting our Royal Ascot sponsorship deal. We've got to become Holocaust deniers.
Hey Eddie, Lions didn't do much during that time.
Exactly. They had to shut the Lions down. They know that the Lions have a truth lasso, and they knew if they'd let the Lions play on Thanksgiving, that post game one of them would have been like, "This war is fake news." So they had to shut them down. They had to cage the Lions for 5 years.
I think there was a ton of fake. It's called propaganda in World War II.
No, fake news sounds better. Just, it sounds so much more sophisticated to call it fake news. Oh, breaking news. U.S. President Donald Trump accepts the formal transition to Joe Biden's White House can finally begin.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Ingram and Dobbins tested positive for COVID.
No.
Because that's bigger news because they play in 2 days.
I mean, is it bigger news?
For this podcast, yes.
Well, we know our election special got some good traction, so we know we got some political lovers out there, so that I'm sure those people won't see that news between now and when they listen to the podcast, and then they'll wait till the end of the podcast to check the news, and now they'll know Donald Trump looks like he's actually leaving the White House.
That's a tradition, right? That they save a turkey on Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah, pardons a turkey. Doesn't save
you
it.
pardon. Oh, what's the difference?
Saving it
because saving, I imagine he like runs out into the field and like tackles the one turkey as he's really close to having his head chopped off and like runs away with it.
Yeah. And it's like reliant on the president like outsmarting the hunter, otherwise the turkey still dies.
The hunter being a robot that collects the turkey.
I've just got this idea now of like the White House lawn just turning into some like version of Jumanji with the hunter.
No, it's like they make a huge maze in the back, and then they drop the turkey, the hunter, and the president into the maze. And
why do they drop him in?
Well, because otherwise they might put the turkey. They got to put the turkey in the middle. It's not going to know what it's doing, right? So you can't just put it in front of the entrance to the maze and hope that it keeps going deeper into the maze.
I honestly think this is a TV program, like a top-down view of the labyrinth, and just watching a hunter, the current sitting president of the United States, and a turkey, and just seeing what happens for like 24 hours.
Wait, 24 hours? Why would it take that long? How big is this maze?
It's a big maze.
It's huge.
I mean, put it this way.
It's the biggest maze I've ever seen.
I think if you did this, it would have more viewers than the three Thursday football games combined.
Okay.
Now, does he have deadly weapons or like tranks?
He's like the hunter in Jumanji. So he's in the old-fashioned safari garb, and then he has like that musket that has the.
But those are real bullets. They're not tranquilizers.
Like a blunderbuss kind of thing, where he's got to load it with gunpowder.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah,
See,
yeah.
that never made sense to me. But...
And the president is unarmed.
Oh. He can call in one drone. Like it just rain hell. And what's the turkey got?
Nothing.
Wow.
Turkey's got one chance to live. That's what he's got. And it's dependent upon the president. What if I told you one turkey, one president, one hunter could change the shape of sports landscape on Thanksgiving Day?
Stay as handicap.
Who wins in a race? Donald Trump, a turkey, or the hunter from Jumanji? But the hunter has to carry the elephant gun and he's dressed in his attire.
The hunter.
I mean, the thought of Donald Trump.
Okay, who gets second?
The turkey.
The turkey. You're right, Sam. I can't picture Donald Trump running. Like, I can't actually picture his body making the movements to run.
I could picture Joe Biden because he did that strange thing when he took the stage after he said that he had won the presidency and did like a 10-second jog down the stage and then just stopped and walked the rest.
I can picture Joe Biden.
I think it's a coolness thing.
I think I can picture every president apart from Donald Trump running.
Whoa, FDR?
George Washington?
I can picture FDR pre-polio. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, good that you clarified that, because a part of me thought that you were going to say post-polio.
I would be less surprised if footage came out of FDR running in 1943 than footage came out of like Donald Trump going for a jog.
Have you seen that Family Guy where they've got FDR and he's like on the puppet strings as he's been moved along the stage?
All right, how about this? Who wins a race, Trump or Merkel?
I can see Merkel running.
Yeah,
and therefore Merkel wins. Yeah. The thing is with Donald Trump, I feel like his arms would be doing like a shuffle, like rather than an actual run, there'd be more like a weird, like.
Plus, even when he stands, he kind of like leans in this. He doesn't look like he has good balance. So the idea of making himself run, I could just see himself. I could see him fall over.
God forbid it's an incline. Forget it.
Oh yeah. Whereas Merkel, you could tell me she like goes for a run, like 4 times a week.
She's an efficient runner. She's German, super efficient, good form.
Exactly.
When Merkel runs, does she do the pointed finger run, or does she clench like in a fist?
Pointed finger.
For sure, pointed finger.
Yeah, she's focused.
And
she's
she's
dead on focus.
But she keeps her left arm kind of down, and then she just swings her right arm pointed up really high in rapid motion.
Oh my God.
Oh boy.
Oh no.
Well, on that racist note, I think we call it a day. All right, boys. I'll talk to you later.
See ya.
Hurry up.